What up, peeps? It is the SEC Connect. You got myself, Nick, aka Nino's Corner. We got my boy Steven from Fanatic Perspective, and my boy Chris with a K from the Horns Down Podcast. Jay is on business this week. He can't make it. Ty will be here. More than likely. Ty has a lot of stuff going down too, man. But first off, folks, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Please hit that like button. Wipe your feet before you come in my house. Please please do it. Please believe it.
We here, people.
Please believe it. Fellas, man, what's going on, man?
So much to talk about, fellas. There's so much to talk about.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about aftermath from last week, right? OU, Tennessee, Missouri, Florida.
Yeah,
all these games. We got Georgia and Alabama. We got Georgia going to Bama this week.
Number 2 versus number 4.
We got a lot to discuss, y'all.
We got a lot, dude. I'm ready. I'm ready to get in, man. First off, let's get to these comments. Nick V says, OU, what happened? We're going to talk about that. So Nick V also says, fun episode tonight. A lot to talk about. Bunker Bandit's going to tell the Chad Hawkins is the savior.
What's a Bunker Bandit?
I know the SEC Connect, but please address the UNLV debacle before the end of the show. We're going to talk about that because NIL is not just, to one conference. It's for the whole college football. And I do believe.
Let's make a note.
Let's make a note of that.
Especially with Chris on here.
Yeah, with the lawyer on here. Yeah, man.
Because this is definitely a legal matter that is happening in Las Vegas right
Cameron
now.
Parker, don't be talking about, hey, Chris is a good dude, man. Don't be talking about Chris like that.
Chris showed up today.
He showed up today. Hey, man, don't talk about, Baby D like that. You know what I'm saying?
He showed up today. I respect it.
Hey, man.
A lot of dudes take off when they team lose.
Nah, man, Chris always shows up, man. Win, lose, or draw. Chris is a damn Sooner fan.
If you gonna talk it, you gotta walk it too. You gotta walk that line.
You gotta walk that walk. Yeah. But fellas, man, let's go ahead and get into the first topic, man. I want to talk about Missouri. Are they fool's gold? They had a hell of a game this week. They barely won against Vanderbilt overtime by 3 points. Is Missouri fool's gold? Steven, I hand off to you, man.
So this, before the Vanderbilt game, I would have said no. Boston College is a pretty good football team. And so them playing them rather close, that's not, that's not the worst thing in the world, so to speak. But once I saw this Vanderbilt situation and it happened in consecutive weeks, the offense, Nate Noel, as Nino, you call him Nasty Nate, he's balling. The guys are running for like 200 yards a game, man, and they still can't. Brady Cook is not doing what I thought he'd do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just not the same juice that should be there in the passing game when you have a Luther Burden, a Weiss, a Mookie Cooper, and that run game, right? And it's not, the defense has been okay. The defense actually was shutting people out the first few weeks.
Yep.
They had to deal with Sheehan, Kyler Murray. We get that. But, and Diego at Vanderbilt's a problem too. We're all gonna have to deal with Diego as well.
He's a beast.
He's a beast. Okay. So I'm kind of cutting them some slack on the defensive side. But with a schedule like this, considering, one would say a Missouri fan's gonna tell you, survive in advance. We have a light schedule. We know we do. Survive in advance. I am a little concerned about Missouri. I thought they'd look better. I'm always willing to give one little performance, but back-to-back weeks against subpar teams where these were what, Nino, was an 18-point spread?
Yes, 18-point spread and winning by 3 points. But
there's concern.
There is concern there. The only thing that I want to say, Vanderbilt, maybe this – I'm not going to say it's one of the games that they look over, but look, man, BC was a tough game, but BC hasn't played bad this year. So they skate out against BC. I'm not holding that against them. BC has looked pretty good this year.
Top 25 team.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So you get a win, against any top 25 team any day of the week. But maybe Vanderbilt's better than we think. But they got beat by Georgia State the week before. So that's what's keeping me from saying that they are better than what I think they are. But maybe that was their slip-up game. Maybe they were looking towards Missouri and they slipped up against Georgia State, right? So I don't know, man. I'm just intrigued by the up and down when it comes to Missouri because they have an easy schedule, per the SEC metric right now. But it might be a schedule that we thought was easy prior to the season, but a schedule that might not be as easy as we thought it would have been once the season started. How about you, Chris?
I would just say, man, lightning in a bottle. I don't think a lot of people on here are big fans of Drink, anyways. I think he had a really good year last year, and seems like some of that pizzazz has left the building. You can see, honestly, in the spring game this year, they didn't really have like a lot of juice on the defensive side of the ball, in my opinion. I think they tried to bulk up their size, but it wasn't anything that was dramatic. Offensively, they still have the guys. They've just been a bit inconsistent this year. I think Brady Cook has always, in my eyes, been kind of just a guy, meaning that I never saw him being some first round or even a second or third round guy. I think he's maybe a second or third day type of guy. He's a guy that will get drafted and be able to be on the NFL roster, I believe. But it all really boils down to just Luther Burden being able to get loose or whatnot. I think teams are kind of game planning for that and trying to make Weiss and the Boogie or whoever that number
Cooper.
5, yeah, they're making them be the guys and are trying to take that take that element of that offense away, those explosive plays down the field, those that one where they lull you to sleep or they've lulled you to sleep for so long and then boom, they just take the roof off. Kind of resembles, not necessarily their offense resembles it, but it puts you in the mindset of like a Gundy in his prime, right? Where they just literally will lull you to sleep all day and then just take the roof off by just running goes with Tywin Wallace or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So no, I mean it's just that they're making other guys beat them opposed to their guy. So I mean they've been able to win. I mean at the end of the day they're undefeated. That's all you can ask for. They're on the
4-0's 4-0.
4-0 4-0. You're right.
yeah. So I mean at the end of the day, can they get it right? I think so, but we'll just have to see. They just have to just level up. I think they're one of those teams that you can literally say they played down to the other team's level, to their competition's level. So they have to come in there with a mindset that they're going to, not win but dominate, right? So
Yeah.
you haven't necessarily seen that like you've been told all summer. So yeah.
It's going to be interesting, man, because Nasty Nate has been balling, man. He averaged almost 8 yards or 9 yards to carry in this last game, man. 24 carries, 199 yards. Like he's explosive. I mean, he's explosive. He's doing what he's supposed to do. But Steven said it best, man. Like I was looking for Cook to be that guy this year, just to come in, just kind of get that one more year season on him, right, and be the guy
He
for the
was a
next year.
dark horse Heisman candidate.
Yeah, man. Especially with a guy like Luther Burden. Like, how can you have Luther Burden on your team and not look good? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's alarming to me. Even Casey Thompson looked good with Xavier Worthy. You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, man, it's this NIL thing has really helped with, I guess, for some teams, against some teams or whatever. Just follow me what I'm saying. It's just added a layer of parity in some situations, right? So you got to think, like, regardless of what we want to say about Bob, Bob is a good coach. Bob is a championship winning coach, right? Championship level type coach on both levels, NFL and college wise as well. So you knew that he was going to have a really good game plan and a good scheme. Boston College has surprised a lot of people this year. I didn't think a lot of people probably had them winning as many games as they have, or even being this competitive. As I've always told you guys, I know we've laughed about it, but I like the Vanderbilt coach. I like the attitude that he's trying to instill there, which is we're going to win games. Like, we're not coming out here just to lose by 30 or talk noise because we beat one team and then we're screaming for Alabama the next, right? Like, we intend to make life difficult on you. Yeah. So I think you've seen that, especially in this year 2 install with what he's doing, year 2, year 3, whichever one. But I just think that Missouri, all it really is for them, they just have to stop playing down to the competition. I mean, to the level of their competition, because when you start facing the Georgias and all the rest of them or whatnot, you're going to have to level up. And so you can't go out there and have the time of your life against Ohio State, and then, you're struggling against Vandy and stuff like that. So, yeah.
It's going to be interesting, man. Vandy, I'm I'm very surprised by them so far this year. You know, like honestly, yes, they got beat by Georgia State. I get it. I get it. I honestly think that was their trap game. I think they were literally looking at to play the number 6 team in the country and said we can get past Georgia State and not have to worry about it. Right? I think that was their trap game. And they got trapped. But they came out and
So
played great against Missouri. And I think Vandy's gonna be a tough out this year. I just do.
yeah, when you have it, as long as Diego stays healthy,
Mm-hmm.
that's a problem.
Yeah.
The thing here's where I will say that I'm still in on Missouri. All right, I'm still in.
They got an easy
Here's
schedule.
why. It's not just the schedule, Nino.
What's that?
They did this last
Yeah,
year.
that's true.
They
That is true.
BS'd in several games last year.
They
The
did.
Florida game,
They
they did
did.
that was still them. Like they did this last year, and they just kept on drink. They had the guy kick a damn 62-yard
That
field
is
goal
true.
to win one game. They had a 4th and 17 to win another game, and the next thing you know, they're 11-2. So there could be something to be said about they just know how to finish games and win at the end. Is it concerning that Brady Cook only has 4 touchdown passes and all 4 of them are to Luther Burden, and that's it they have in the air?
Dude,
Yeah.
Luther
Then yeah,
Burden's sick, man.
that's a concern. But where I will say their defense doesn't look terrible. They don't look terrible, and they can run the ball.
They can run the
So
ball.
they can run the ball.
Which,
Because a lot of people were like, "Yo, Cody Schrader,
yeah, I
they won't be able
was.
to replace him."
I
Yeah,
was. I was one. You the one who told me like, shut up, man. Nasty Nate's coming.
and so
I was
and he's
one.
delivering.
He's
So
delivering. Yep.
now
And so
they got a. I think the bye week that they have this week comes at a perfect time,
Yeah.
and then they go to College Station, October 5th.
that's gonna be tough, man. I don't care what anybody. I don't care what anybody says.
Mhm.
No matter if Texas A&M's up or down, that's going to be a tough environment for Missouri to go in there, especially with their offense not humming the way it's supposed to hum, and A&M's defense is still A&M's defense. I don't
That's
care what anybody
that's
says.
a 3 and out galore. That's a three
Yeah,
and out galore until somebody finally tries to figure it out. Because I think Texas A&M is going to play close, close, close to the brim, and
dude,
keep Marcel Reed. I don't necessarily see that being a game where they let him just like go get loose. But at the same time, I think they'll have a game plan, a really good game plan defensively to make it hard to make them work the field. I think that's kind of what you have to do to Missouri. Like I said, you have to make them work the field and work for it. And I think that's what some teams are doing right now. And some of these games that actually just came down to just mental mistakes by the opposing side. Honestly,
yeah, it's true.
But
what is that game? Boston College for sure.
fellas, we got to consider this too. This is why things are so easy for Missouri. A&M is going to be coming off the Arkansas game.
Ooh,
They
that's gonna
got a
be. Ooh, they got a tough.
they're coming to Arkansas. They're coming. I'm here in Arlington, Texas.
That's a
Everybody
big
knows they.
rivalry, man.
That's a huge rivalry. These people come up here and they shut it down. By the way, when Arkansas and A&M get together, so
Yeah,
they're going to be coming up my way. That's a big emotional game. And then yeah, they are at home the following week, but playing Arkansas and then Missouri the next week. That's a tough ask for A&M. I mean, so
Oh,
let's
hey,
also weigh that here. And now Missouri has 2 weeks of prep
yeah,
to
yeah.
get right.
That's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be interesting. So, hey, man, let's talk about another game here. Auburn versus Arkansas. All right. The first question I want to ask, I'm gonna hand this over to Chris here in just a minute. Right. I want to say, how bad is Auburn? First off, but hold off, Chris, for a minute. Second one I want to talk about is Arkansas. You guys remember when we said if Arkansas comes out of their first 6 games 4-2, like we'll all be shocked.
Yeah.
Arkansas, if they beat A&M, they're guaranteed to be 4-2 over their first 6 games because they're going to get beat by Tennessee, right? But if they beat A&M, they're going to be and they got a good shot to beat A&M. They do, right? But Chris, I want to hand it over to you to talk about Auburn, though, right?
I do want to add something to Arkansas. Arkansas had all the momentum in the world to really, really do something after
Oklahoma
what
State.
should have been a win at Oklahoma State,
I knew you're going
which
to say
to
it.
this day is just still crazy. Like that debacle was wild. I
How do you
watched the entire game.
how do you lose that game?
Bro, you find a way. They found a way, but no, Auburn. I don't know what's up with Hugh Freeze and that offense, man. It's like they have talent on that team, and defensively, you see the effort, but you see the effort mostly from the guys who are 15, 20 yards away from the actual play, meaning their secondary is the only time that I see guys out there doing this and screaming at people like, man, let's go. And they're the only people that's really, to me, plays with a heartbeat. I think it'll be loud like this weekend, not to just to touch on that, but man, they just, I don't know, man. I thought that this year they would be stabilized. And to me, Hugh Freeze, if you listen to this for any reason, I think I can speak for Steven and Nick on this right here. Why in the blue hell are you passing? Are you sitting there trying to run pass plays? A ton of pass plays with Peyton Thorne. Coming
Yeah,
into the season, I thought it was going to be a lot of QB run, heavy focus on the run, trying to just pop and move the ball, work the field, possibly open them up. He has a good release. He's just not accurate, and he's turnover prone. Again, when he runs with the ball, he's effective, but he still will turn the ball over regardless. But
he is.
it's I don't know, because you just feel like they have talent out there. I don't know. I haven't really sat down and watched them. I didn't watch them last week, so I'm not sure if is Coleman back yet or is he still hurt? The 5-star
Coleman
freshman.
Coleman played. He
Yeah,
played last game.
I mean, they when they shut down, and they get into a funk, and it's bad, man. It's really bad. Like I don't know, like, because I think Hugh Freeze is a really good coach. I think he's a really good offensive mind. It's just for whatever reason it hasn't worked there. And
I'm
all
shocked.
this season, I think the most disappointing part about Auburn up to this point is the fact that, and Ty will tell you this, they did an amazing job with the NIL and all the rest of that stuff. So some of the guys that they were able to get, not only from the portal, but just recruiting ranks, like, you thought that was going to be it, but I guess we'll see.
Hey, hey, Chris. First off, man, we got the $2 holler from Quentin. He goes, "Why Chris looks so sad? Losing
I,
games is tough."
I try to figure out.
Hey, Quentin. Somebody asked. They say, "Where Quentin in his dollar? His
Not
dollar
yeah,
checks?"
yeah, $1.99. We're quitting that with that $2
somebody already called you out, Quentin. But yeah, man. Look, I'm surprised. I'm surprised by Auburn. You guys know I was. Hold on, right quick. Hold
Oh
on, right quick.
wow!
Quentin put them 20.
Whoa!
Not. Come on, Quentin. Oh, I see. Say it with your chest. Say it with your
Hey,
chest.
bruh.
Hey, man. Quentin must have been getting some money off that damn gaming. You know what I'm saying? He over there playing NCAA, getting that money. He said, "Say, man, when I send the super chat, you listen up and start talking, Chris. Only undefeated teams get to talk sound here."
I didn't say that to the boy. That's cool, though. We
Hey, man,
appreciate
we're
you
gonna
for
get to
20.
OU and Tennessee. That's gonna be like to sum everything up. But let's talk about Auburn again. And you guys know that I was very high on Freeze going into this season, and Steven slapped my hand a few times on this. I said I think Auburn has the potential to be a team that could go 8-4 this year, right? And Steven said, "Why? They lost to New Mexico." And then Chris said they still got Peyton Thorne. All right. So I was corrected. Man. I'm just shocked how Hugh Freeze's offense isn't looking like Hugh Freeze's offense. And we've seen him run this offense to some great heights at Ole Miss and also at where's it at, folks? That's at Liberty. I'm sorry. So
Liberty.
so I've seen it happen. Why isn't it happening here at Auburn with better talent? He's been there for 3 seasons now. Is it 3 seasons? This is his third season, right?
No, this is year 2.
This is year 2?
Mhm.
I don't know if I give him a break, but he got to win 7 games.
We're not that far removed from Brian Harson and an old girl.
He got to not old girl. He got to win 7 games this year, man. He has to win 7 to make the fans feel good about themselves, and then kind of propel this to next year. But he don't have a quarterback.
What is this year? What?
Year 2. What did you say? Year 2.
Okay, we got to get to year 3. We can't sit.
He don't
here
have a
and base it
quarterback
off
though,
that.
man. Like, who's his quarterback? You know what
I
I'm saying?
thought didn't he have a kid named like
Got
Walford
Hank
Howard
Brown.
or something?
Well, no, well, he got the Hank Brown kid. That kid's a big recruit. It's just that they
Yeah, I
tried
was
to
like, he
throw
got a
him in there.
5-star at some point.
Yeah, that
But
guy's almost a 5-star, but they tried. He's like a top 50 recruit.
but that's the problem that we always talk about, and we talked about this with. We'll get to the OU team about playing players too young. Lagway's another. Do you want to put those guys out there in harm's way and let them get beat up? You know what I'm saying?
Or do
So
Nigga,
you? Or
Nick,
do
I can
you?
tell you sat on the bench the whole lot because ain't no damn way. If
huh?
players gonna play, man. It
No,
don't matter
no,
if you
no, no,
freshman,
no,
you
no,
might
no, Chris.
put
We're
it
talking
in there.
about big time college ball. Sometimes
I know,
you put a
regardless though. If you
you
going to coach a team, regardless of what level you at, if you're freshman, your sophomore, your senior, whoever's the best player is gonna play. It don't matter. They
to an
gotta play
extent.
at some point, Nick.
No, I'm not. Hey, Tua
We
was the
see
best.
people who
Hold
are
on,
we see people who are not good all
hold
the
on.
time.
Hey,
Okay, we see
well,
people who
hey,
are not good all the time
Chris,
and come out there and play
Chris,
2 or 3 years. Stop
Chris,
playing, man.
Chris. Who was
Chris,
the
stop
best?
projecting.
I know. Who
I'm
was
not.
the?
I'm just saying,
No,
man.
Chris. I'm asking you a question. Who was the
Go
best
ahead.
quarterback on the team when Bama won a championship with Mac Jones? Was it Mac Jones or Bryce Young? Answer the question. Was it Mac Jones or Bryce Young? We saw what Bryce Young did the next year,
Young.
huh?
Bryce Young.
So why wasn't he
He was
starting, Chris?
talented.
He
Had
was the
most
best
of
player. Why wasn't he starting, Chris?
Hey, look, I don't know. Maybe he got beat out in damn camp. What are we talking about? We sitting
He
here
Okay.
talking
did,
about
but
position
because he
upside.
was
I'm
a
just
true
saying.
He's a
freshman.
true freshman. That's
If
what I'm
you
getting at.
look, all I'm
It-
saying is this right here. If they're your best player at that spot, regardless of whatever, I don't know what type of ball you played or y'all played or whatever, but where I'm from, best player's gonna play regardless.
Brother, that's not what it's about, though. It's about development.
Thank
Patrick
you.
Mahomes
We
sat.
talking development.
Patrick
We gonna talk
Mahomes
development.
sat.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we are because that matters.
Yes.
That
It
that
matters a lot.
matters.
It
Patrick
it
Mahomes
does matter a
sat
lot.
for a year in Kansas City behind Alex Smith because he needed the seasoning. He needed to develop. He needed to
I
learn
get it.
and
It's
all of
different
those
for
things.
a
Yeah,
lot
he's
of
better.
people.
And
But
once he was
Chris,
ready, they
It's
handed him
different
the
for a lot of
keys.
Chris,
people. Jalen
the
Hurts at
the
Alabama. Jalen Hurts
same, yeah,
became the
and
starter.
and
What are
who
we
was
talking
better than
about?
Jalen Hurts when he was at Alabama? This freshman named Tua. He was better
And
than
when he
him,
was ready,
and he was better than him, but he didn't start
But Jalen
until
Hurts
it came
just
down to the
came off
damn
a
championship
great
game.
season, did he not?
Huh? Was that?
Did Jalen Hurts not come off a great season into that season?
I don't
We
give a
can
damn if you
predict
can't. No,
him
no.
doing
By
that.
your logic, Chris, the
I'm
best
just
player
saying.
should have played, and Tua was the best quarterback in that team in Tua's freshman
I
year.
would love to hear from Ty because I don't know. He got beat out in camp. I'm just saying, if there's not a clear start or whatever, the Lagway thing is the best example right now that we have. Lagway should be playing. Why would you risk your career, your job, on playing Graham Mertz? Steven doesn't even like Graham Mertz, and we all know Lagway
So,
should be playing. He's the key.
Chris,
I'm
the same way that you guys got on Texas for years and years about why we sucked is the same logical way of thinking that you're thinking. Well, I'm sorry, same non-logical way of thinking that you're thinking right now. Depending on freshmen to come save you year in and year out is what gets you in the position that Florida's in right now. Depending on freshmen year in and year out is what got Texas in a position before.
Chris, you know this.
No,
You know it's
got
true.
Florida
You know
in the
this.
position they are is Napier. Napier decided to really blow up that class and go from there. They made a bad
Chris, does
decision.
experience matter? Yes or no?
Yes, experience matters, but at the same time, if your best player at that position, I'm not saying it's situational that we're talking.
It
I'm
is.
just
No,
saying if you've ever
it is
been out
situational.
there, you know. Like
It
at
is
some point they
situational.
have to grow up. I'm not saying that you can't sit them or experience is not good, but I'm saying, hey, if you're in a dire situation and you know that, hey, Blake Bornwell or whatever in Alabama, he's not cutting the mustard and we thought he was our guy. Graham Mertz is not our guy or whatever the case may be. At some point they got to play. We're in this NIL era, guys. I don't think y'all realize that. I
Chris,
think
they were getting paid before NIL. Stop
I
it.
get they were getting paid.
They were
For
getting
NIL,
paid
but
tons
not
of money
like
before
this where it's
NIL.
open and you know that you're
I mean,
paying. You weren't paying guys 13
they were
mil like
getting
they're paying
paid
Okada.
plenty of money before
I don't think
NIL.
you're paying all these guys 13 mil or stuff like that. We've never heard about the numbers. I'm just saying I know guys were getting paid. We know guys back in the day though, Nick. Back in the day, you still got to remember getting a Denali and getting like what $150,000 was amazing to people. Look at Cam Newton. Cam Newton didn't get $1 million to go over there to Auburn.
We don't know
He'll
how
tell
much
you that
Cam got.
himself. I'm just saying, he
We
said
don't know.
it on his pod. He said it on his pod.
We just
All
saw
I'm saying
Mississippi State offered 180, and he didn't go to Mississippi State. So it was,
all
I
I'm
feel
saying
like
is that
I
times
feel
have
like we're
changed,
speaking in
man. Y'all
code.
know that.
yeah. I think no, but I think what Steven said was correct. Was experience matters, and you throw that young freshman behind that piss poor offensive line and get his head rammed in for another 9 games. Well, not 9 games
Mhm.
because they're not going to a damn bowl. Another 8 games. That right there can miss with a young guy's mental for this time until he's out of college. You know, sometimes you got to set these guys up for success. And putting that young freshman behind there is not setting them up for success. Okay, I want to see him go against Bama. I want to see that happen then. I want to put that young kid that was going against some kids, 6'1", 180 pounds. I want to see him get his ass tore up by a 340-pound lineman. And then you tell me how much tougher he's going to be and letting the best player play
I'm
at that
just
point
saying at
is.
some point they got
Pause.
to play, and right
Huh?
now, doesn't have any option except for to play the kid because
Guess what? He's getting fired at the end of the year, and he's getting
I
fired.
know.
He's getting fired
If
anyway.
Richard's not trying, go out. I'm going out of
Don't
G. I'm not going out like
don't
that.
kill the kid
I
on your
just
way
don't
out
know.
too.
Yeah.
Don't kill the kid on your way out too. Don't throw the
Yeah.
baby out with the water. You know what I'm saying?
I
But
just know I wouldn't leave any stones unturned. I think a lot of coaches out there would have that as well. Yeah, if you had a fall guy, if you got a guy that's more experienced a season, yeah, you want to put him out there. But if that guy is not producing, we got to figure something out.
very
I
interesting.
just want to. I have one last thought on Auburn.
Go ahead. Y'all are the
Um,
logical guys on here.
no, because
Texas fans, man.
they're about to play your team. You guys are about to go down there. This is their upcoming schedule, by the way. They have OU. The following week, they go to Georgia. And then they have a bye, and then they go to Missouri.
That OU
And
Auburn
then
game is gonna be good.
after that, they go to Kentucky. Auburn is cooked. That's my point.
Yeah, they are. It's
They're
gonna be
cooked.
interesting to see. What's their defense like so far this year?
I mean, their defense, they're spotty. At times they look damn good, and then at other times it's
Yeah,
just like,
I would say at times they look, but they're not good enough to, like, for example, last week against Arkansas. The reason why I had Arkansas money line all the way. I didn't
Yeah,
understand why that game was
2 points,
why
right?
Auburn. Yeah, it was 2.5. I
Yeah,
didn't understand why Auburn was favored, other than I guess they were
home.
just
They're at home, right?
home.
yeah.
But I had Arkansas money line the whole way because I knew they would be able to do enough against
Mhm.
them to put points on the board to get in the 20s, which they did. They got to 24, and Auburn
Auburn
put up
is
14 points.
Defensively. Auburn is a team that if they get a 3 and out, if they get a few 3 and outs or whatever, they feel really good about themselves. But one big play or one play where they need to get a 3 and out, get this get the offense off the field or whatever case may be. It's like the air just lets up out of the defense, and then after
Com-
that, everything tumbles down.
It's kind of
Complementary football matters too.
yeah,
And they're one of those teams where I think the defense would be better if they actually had a quarterback, if they actually
Yeah,
had an offense. I think
yeah,
you would see a better performing Auburn defense or even better performing Auburn defense. But it's hard. And then you got Hugh over here throwing kids under the bus
yeah. He is, which is
in the
stupid. I
media.
mean,
Like, so that whole situation, um, to me, I think Auburn fans, this is a big game coming up for both fan bases. I mean, we're about to talk about OU,
yeah,
but Auburn has to win this game too. For their own, like, you can't be calling people out like that and then go and get cooked again and lose 2 straight home games. That's not the move. So to me, this is about to be a very serious game
it's about to be. It's gonna
coming
be
up
yes,
for both organizations.
and it's at Oklahoma, right?
no, it's
No,
at
it's at
Auburn.
Auburn.
Oh, it's at
That's what I'm
ooh.
saying. He can't lose 2 straight
2 in a row. Why
at
did
the
I think this
crib.
at Oklahoma? This is okay at Auburn. Oklahoma's coming in, brand new quarterback. Hey, Auburn, this is if you are real, this is your opportunity to show that you're real. There's no excuses. You got a brand new quarterback. Um, that's coming against you. You don't have like I'm sorry, Chris, but man, look, OU's offense is non-existent. It just is right now. And, I'm just gonna be honest. OU's defense is special. They got a really good defense, especially that run defense. They are so good along that damn line. It is ridiculous. They will tear Auburn's offensive line up. But
And they create turnovers.
and they create turnovers, man. Yes, they do. They had a lot of turnovers against Tennessee, right? But man, Auburn, OU's bringing in a fresh quarterback, first start. Y'all don't handle business, Hugh Freeze, people gonna be looking at you real crazy. Starting 2-3 in this season, and then going to Georgia 2-4, Missouri 2-5, Kentucky bum fight. You know what I'm saying? Vanderbilt, you're gonna lose that one too. You know what I'm saying? So you're already. I'm gonna give you 3-6. You'll beat ULM, A&M bum fight, and then Alabama's gonna dog walk you. You know what I'm saying? So you're looking at a 4-win team, a 5-win team this year.
If they don't win this game, they got to win this game.
So, all right, guys, let's go to the next topic, man. You guys want to talk about A&M or OU versus Tennessee?
Let's talk about OU Tennessee because I got to start my.
Let's talk about OU Tennessee.
Okay, man. OU Tennessee, man.
Especially coming into with the Auburn thing. It's
a
good segue.
Chris, I'm gonna let you kind of start this off, man. Tell me about your team, man. What do you think went wrong with OU versus Tennessee?
I'm just gonna say this right here, man. Like I was trying to say to you guys. Look, I get the experience thing and all the rest of that stuff, but hey, players got to go play. All right. At the end of the day, like I said to Ty and some of the guys today, look, I can show you how to win. I can do a lot of things for you. I can prep you up. I can get you ready, do all the rest of that stuff. But when that ball snap, when them lights are on, when that popcorn smell is going through the stadium or whatnot, you still got to be able to execute. You know, like I've had plenty of coaches. I know plenty of coaches who will still tell you, like, "Hey, look, it's on me at the end of the day, but we got to execute." And that's the problem. I mean, you go back and watch the game. You go back and look at like some of the highlights, some of the breakdowns a lot of guys have shown and stuff like that on the offensive side of the ball, and it's like, damn, we're right there. And the reason why I say that is because there's times where you're like, hey, Jackson, just hand off the ball. There's nobody within 5 yards of him. There's nobody within 10 yards of the guy. Hand off the ball. Your O-line, was it great? Hell no. Was it good? At times, no. And at times, yeah, they did enough to hold you, to get you where you needed to be. Your defense is out there playing lights out. It just was a very frustrating night, simply because you know the talent that a kid like Jackson has is just up here right now is mental fog. And I don't know how he necessarily gets out of that rut, but I'm praying for the kid. I'm hoping for the kid because he's a young kid, a young talented kid. I don't want to see anybody fail, but it just has not worked, man. It just did not work. I felt like Tennessee, I felt like we did enough defensively to stay in the game and also make that game at least competitive, damn near, if we could actually get the fumbles, the whatever we got that game, and not go turn the ball over in the very next play in plus territory. It's hard, man. You really go out there and you beat yourself. And so it was piss poor performance, man, offensively for sure. You saw some bright spots as the game went on. And there were times where you're like, okay, Jackson, yeah, this is okay. This is good. But the interception, there was a bad underthrow. And then the 2 fumbles, like that can't happen when all you have to do is just hand the ball off and just play smart football. But it just was not that. So, I mean, I'll take that L. I'll let the Texas fans and all the rest of that stuff talk, but it just was not an overall good day for the offense or whatnot. But defensively, man, like had no worries, no problems. The game plan. One of the touchdowns was simply just Billy playing up way too high. But he was over aggressive, and I'm fine with that. I can live with that.
That was the 66-yard touchdown?
Yeah, that was that one right there.
Okay.
All he had to do, that was just a little busted coverage right there. He's playing aggressive.
See, but that's what we kept talking. When y'all called me dumb as hell on Twitter, all we had to do, it happened. And it's been happening all season. It was happening all season. No, it was 3. Chris,
that's where I'm gonna get with you. That's where I'm gonna
38 yards, 42 yards, 66 yards.
That's where I'm gonna get with you at.
146 yards of Nico's 194 yards came off three big plays, which is something that Oklahoma, which I said on Bleacher Report, right, Steven? I said
Yes.
Oklahoma has a propensity to give up big passing plays. They gave up 5 passing plays of 15 yards more against Houston. They gave up 7 against Tulane. And against Houston, people say, well, it's Houston. We had backups. No, you didn't. You won 16-12. Your starters played the entire game, right? So that is,
It makes sense though, Nino. Why, like Chris? I mean, look, we're just talking ball here, man. This is
I know
not.
you don't got to
You
get
have a great
frustrated.
defense.
You got a
It's an
really good
amazing
defense.
defense.
I just, I
But
no,
the reason
I just think that that's bullshit. Like,
What
you know,
that?
I
What
don't.
Lamar,
that?
I'm gonna
I
tell you.
just think,
What's
I'm gonna
Nick is
bullshit?
tell
That
you
your team gives
why.
it.
looking to the
Go
numbers
I'm
ahead.
way
gonna
too
tell you
much,
why.
man. I'm
Because
looking
you
at the
guys are
final.
super aggressive.
I'm like,
When
that's
you are
what I.
super
That's all I'm
aggressive.
saying.
But
But we're sitting here
But
getting
then,
Chris,
taunted
that's not
like
but when
we
you're
not.
super aggressive, the
two things
counter
can be the
means that you
same
can be
thing.
had.
This is crazy,
Chris,
man.
That's
two
a
things
common
can be
sense thing.
you could be an aggressive team and give up big plays. You know what I'm saying? Trevon
They're super
Diggs for the
aggressive.
Cowboys
Yeah.
is a very aggressive cornerback, but also he's going to give up big plays. He has 11 picks 2 years ago, but he gave up 14 touchdowns, I think. Right?
Well,
So
we're sitting here. We're sitting here talking about this defense, and I know where you're trying to go with that. Steven saved you. I know where you're trying to
no,
go with
what?
it.
He didn't save me. I'm telling the
All I'm
truth.
saying is this right here is that look at the numbers. Look at the end of the day, okay, we gave up a big play. But if you put
3.
that, I'm not putting that game on the defense. I don't even want to talk
Nobody's
about
putting the
that.
game
Nobody's
on the
putting on the
defense.
defense.
I'm putting that
I
on
didn't put it.
the
I
offense.
didn't
So
put on the
go bring
defense
up the
either.
numbers because that's just bullshit. Like you just bringing up your numbers.
I
We
didn't
talking
put on the.
ball.
We're talking ball, and also, like I said before,
Like, I'm
people.
just saying, he just bringing up his numbers just to bring it
No,
up to make that
I'm
point
just
home.
no. It's
You
because
put that on Twitter. You did that. That's your
it
thing.
support
We get it, Nick. You
supports
jack
exactly
off
what I
your
said.
numbers.
It
That's
was
fine.
Steven.
All
What
I'm
did I say
saying
on
is this
Bleacher
right
Report?
here
I
is
said Oklahoma's going to
that
lose
should
this
not even
game
be a
because they give
point.
up big plays,
That's not.
right?
That should not even be a point. Oh, you didn't lose
Look.
that game because they gave up a big play. They lost that game because the offense was inept. The offense couldn't move the ball. As simple as that.
I said
I
Like, what are we
I
talking?
agree with that. I agree with
We're
that.
talking ball and stuff. Let's talk about what really lost them the game. Let's not
And
talk about the defense. That's a waste of time. The time that you need to spend that you
it's on
need to get to
offense,
what you
true.
want to get to is offense.
And
So
it's to
do
clean.
that.
It's on offense, which goes down to your quarterback who is not ready. He needs more seasoning. He's a guy who might be the best quarterback in your room, but he doesn't need to play this year. He does need to play this year. He needs to sit another year. DG should have been manning this offense this year.
No,
That's just the God's honest truth.
he is Jackson. It was time for Jackson. Jackson, like I said, at some point you're
It's
gonna
not time
figure
for
it out.
Jackson if he's on the bench this
It's
week.
better. It's better that you figure it out now than you figure it out later. What point do you want him to play? 3-4 years into it?
Arch
but
Manning's going to play in
Chris,
his third year.
but what's wrong with that?
I know. What's wrong?
Some kids need more time.
Yeah,
I
there's
get
nothing wrong with
Versus
that.
just rushing somebody who's not ready. And that's my frustration is I have been saying, yo, the evidence is there. Jackson Arnold is not playing well.
Yeah,
Yes, there is more around. He has no running game. The offensive line has not been up to standard.
so
The
why would you put
receivers-
that young man
The
behind that?
receivers are banged up. I get all those things.
You didn't come into the season thinking that you were going to be snake bit like you were, Nick. That I think that's the thing. So,
but
you had your weapons and you had your guys, but you've been snake bit. All your top wide receivers. Don't get me wrong. The talent that we have now is still good enough to where we should be making plays, and I'm not making any excuses for that. However, the dude lost his top guys. You can't sit there and say, okay, they're so snake bit that the fact that this guy was just going to propel them. I didn't think that he was going to propel them over this, but I thought it was good enough to get us where we needed to be, and it just hasn't been. But I mean, we've been so snake bit on offense and defense. Yeah, well,
can
defense.
Can I share?
Go ahead,
can I share
go ahead, Steve. I was talking to Nick.
Please. So what I want to say is this: I completely agree with you in terms of that is a very challenging aspect to be in as a young quarterback. My counter to that is understanding that you do have a great defense. I do not need you to be Superman. I need you to be a game manager right now at this phase. I need you to take care of the football. I need you to move the chains and make sure that time of possession is not lopsided. That's what I need you to do. I don't need you. Jackson Arnold, and I said this going back to the spring game, he loves his arm. He loves his abilities. And I think a lot of OU fans, I'm not necessarily saying you, Chris, but a lot of OU fans out there fell in love with the physical Elite 11 winning tools and the natural gifts that he has and wanted him to be better than Dylan Gabriel right off the bat, when in reality, what you needed, I don't care if he's better than Dylan Gabriel or not. What I need is somebody to take care of the football
Yep.
to protect the defense. That's what I need. And he can't even do that.
The
So if he
kids
can't even, like,
No,
that's
I
a
agree with you.
problem.
I agree with you to a point. The kid set. Here's the next point. The kid sat behind Dylan for a year. He's a sophomore now. Okay, when are we gonna play him? Might as well be this year, right? And I think the kid is talented. I think the kid still has a lot of talent. As far as what he's doing right now, it's still some mistakes there. It's still some things that you're just like Jackson. You know that you can't do that because, contrary to belief, even with the guys that we're fielding right now, contrary to the belief and to your chat right now, that's pro Texas and everything, there's been a ton of guys that are open. There's been a lot of plays that are open. What he's seeing, I don't know what he's seeing. And
He's
at
not
some
ready.
point,
It's because he's not
it's
ready,
not that
Chris.
he's not ready. It's not that he's not ready. At some point, some
I
of the
mean,
stuff
Chris,
is
you're
right
explaining
there.
somebody who's not ready. If people
I'm-
are
Bro, it's
freaking
I'm-
either
wide,
one of two things.
easy.
It's either
It's
he's not
easy.
ready or he can't play.
Okay.
It's one or two.
Okay, Steven, be
Either
quiet.
he's not ready or he can't play. Which one
Okay.
is it, Chris?
Steven, be quiet for a second. All I'm saying is this right here, okay? It's easy to sit up on that porch like y'all are doing right now, trying to look down and trying to laugh and do all the rest of that stuff. I get it. Everybody's situation is different. I don't know. I don't know what y'all are saying, but I'm just saying everybody's situation is different.
You gassed
I'm
them
not
up, so I'm
saying-
asking you.
Okay. All I'm saying is just right here is that, look, Jackson's going to be okay. All right. If anything, we all should be banding together and hoping that the brother can get it together wherever that's going to be. If that's OU, Mississippi State, or wherever the hell he's going to be at. All I'm saying is this
So
right
it won't
here.
be at OU.
Execution has to happen at the end of the day. You could only do so much to prep the guy. He still has to go out there and execute. And we've seen a shit ton of quarterbacks. You guys especially have seen a shit ton of quarterbacks go out there, have all these accolades and everything, and they still haven't lived up to it. And they've been there for 2, 3, 4 years, whatever the case may be. It just happens.
that's because
Sometimes
we played them
it
too
just
early. That's what we're trying to tell you. We've been through this, Chris. But I just understand, like, we're not down it. We've been through it. But look here.
I'm just saying, man. At some point, the kid got to play, and he's playing. And the
So,
thing was is
okay.
that he just didn't play up to the standard.
All right.
That's
So
all.
prime example. Let me give you something. All right.
Brandon Gilbert, go ahead.
No. Look, I ain't talking about Gilbert. I'm gonna talk about Vince Young. When did Vince Young start a full season? What year?
What year did he start, Nick?
His full third season. Redshirt sophomore. Then he won a championship redshirt junior year, and he left. That's year 3. It's year 3.
We just gonna agree to disagree, bro. Because I mean, at the end of the day, if you want your quarterback to sit for 3, 4 years or whatever, that's you. All I'm saying is players gonna play, and we came into this season, and were we wrong? We were wrong at this point, at this juncture. But we're sitting here just piling on like, hey, man, look, the kid got to play at some point. And OU, maybe they just guessed wrong. It is what it is. But you got to sit there and figure it out at some point. And you can't.
It's got to be figured out.
Yeah, you wanted to move on. You made a decision. You made an executive decision. It is what it is. Kid got to play.
So by your logic, Chris, Michael Hawkins needs to go out there and win this Auburn game. No excuses. He needs to go out there and ball. If he's the best player, he needs. There's no waiting. Either you play, or if he's the best player, he needs to go out there and do that. Like,
he's the only other option that we have. Y'all want us to play Casey?
No, you got Casey.
I would like to show the kids some grace.
You guys got Casey.
We're talking about Michael Hawkins right now, though. Michael Hawkins Jr.
He's tough.
I would like to see him, with no run game. By the way, he was your leading rusher against Tennessee at 22 yards. Where the hell's Tatum and Shawchuck and everybody else in this offensive line? I've never seen an OU running game so putrid since I've been watching ball.
No, and I agree with you on that. I'm not saying that it's been good. That's all I'm saying.
So what are they going to do to help the quarterback?
I to be honest with you, the same thing they've been doing for Jackson, just execution. I feel like Hawkins makes better decisions. At least what I saw with what they were doing in the second half
One thing
against
Hawkins did do, Chris, I will give you this. One thing Hawkins did do, if the play wasn't there, he tucked it and ran. My only problem with Hawkins is, man, when Hawkins took that back flip into the end zone, like I love his heart. Love
yeah.
his gut. I mean, dude is a warrior.
Those are things you
That's
learn.
stuff that you could talk to your player and talk to him about. The only issue that I had with Hawkins, if you go back and watch the film, is that sometimes his drops are a little bit too deep. He takes a couple of false steps on his drops when he's dropping back. But other than that, I like the decisiveness. What
Yeah,
I seen, he had to make really, really quick decisions, regardless of what anybody says. They blitz an awful lot in that second half, especially when he was in the game. But like I said, I like what I saw from him. I think it's enough. I'm not saying it's enough for us to go undefeated the rest of the way or whatever, but I think it's enough to go and beat Auburn when you know that Hugh Freeze is going to have a very aggressive game plan against him. I think it's enough to know that, hey, some of the decisions that weren't being made can be made, and I think that he gives you a chance to go out there and actually run what would be an air raid. I think one of the issues that a lot of people are not seeing with this offense, especially now, is that you at times you want to open the playbook up, but when Jackson is making this mistake or whatever the case may be, you try to run a lot more RPO, different things that he's used to kind of limit the playbook and deduce the playbook down, or excuse me, reduce the playbook down to stuff that he's super comfortable with. I don't necessarily have the biggest issue with Latrell. Now, has Latrell been perfect? Hell
hell
no. But at
no.
the same time, I think that he's called decent games, good enough to go out there and put up a lot of points. But the run game has been putrid. I'll give you that. But at the same time, it just comes down to
Who's that
decision
on?
making. I think that he's going to. I think
Was that
Hawkins
on
is going to be able to
DeMarco
make those.
Murray? Is that on Bill Beatonball? Is that on Joe John Finley? Like who does that fall? Like I feel like that's a Seth Luttrell thing too as well,
I
right?
kind
Like
of feel like
who's
that's
that
more
on?
Seth Luttrell because if you've watched his offenses in the past, he lives on that inside run, that inside zone, an awful lot. And for me, we've been
He not got the
better
personnel
running
for
the
it, huh?
ball to the edges. Yeah, we've
He
been
don't got the
better running
personnel.
to the edges.
But Chris, that was one thing. I love football. I'm a football fan. I don't care who's playing. I just like to see good ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So and anybody knows, I'm a Texas grad, but I tell you what, when Baker played for OU, he was must see TV for me. I watched Baker Mayfield play every freaking game.
yeah,
I
and we
love to
don't
watch
have that
Baker.
right now.
No, but I'm just telling people how much a fan I am. When Johnny Football played at A&M, I watched every A&M game, and I didn't care if they won or lost, but I wanted to see him play because he was electrifying. Right, Kyler Murray the same way.
Watch Vince
Um,
Young.
so my thing with this is when I look at OU, uh, last year when Levy left and they hired Seth to be the OC, I think I was the only one on the panel. I said I don't like the hire. I said he was a piece of crap at North Texas. Ty tried to talk me off the edge and say, well, with him as an OC is better than him as a head coach. I
Yeah,
I
get it.
didn't like it either. I didn't
And
like the co-com thing. I
yeah,
don't like that.
I'm look,
not
I'm
a
just
fan
not
of
a
Joe
fan of it.
John, but I like Latrell. I like Latrell. I really like his offense when it can be ran. That's just the issue. But I will say, I mean, and y'all know, I'm a diehard soon. I'm not gonna get on here and ever say we're gonna lose or whatever the case may be. I still feel like, hey, this could be an energizer for us. I still say we got a long way to go offensively because I don't know if some guys are going to come back like we thought that we were
Yeah,
going to be able to get back to
that's true.
Anthony, the Andersons. But
That's
I
true.
think this could be an energizer. And like I said, man, you had some bright spots in that second half, and you still made it competitive. Regardless of people want to say they took their foot off the gas or this and that, there's evidence out there that necessarily wasn't the case. But
Well,
the
I'm not
defense,
saying it. I think the coach said it. He even
and,
said if he took the foot off the
that's
gas,
fine if he wants
he
to.
patted
And
his
that's fine if he
quarterback on the
wants to
chest
say
and
that.
said, "I'm sorry, we didn't do it." Well, hold on, I got the video right here. But
Yeah,
he's
you got the video. You can play the video, but at the end of the day, he knows that hey, that defense just ran out of gas at some point, man. The defense was all about it, man. We causing turnovers we doing this season.
He said I held back because I knew they couldn't score no defense. Exactly what he's telling his quarterback that. That's not fans saying it. This is Josh Heupel in Oklahoma telling Nico, I'll pull back because they couldn't score no defense. He said, I'm sorry. I'll pull back.
Keep running with the narrative, baby. Keep running with the narrative.
I'm not running with that. How's it a narrative?
You want to do all of that because that's what you was doing the whole time this weekend.
It's not a narrative.
You lost. Oh my God. Oh, you lost. And this, I was right because I said this happened and this happened. And I looked at my numbers and I had a big bottle of Jergens and I was over there like a Diddy.
Quentin has the best. Quentin has the best,
bro.
Quentin has the best $2 check.
Oh, you prove a point.
Chris, why are you so emotional? Why are you so emotional?
Prove a point. You know
Chris,
I don't like that shit.
Chris, why are you so emotional?
I don't like that because Nick, you know you're trying to prove a point.
I'm not trying to prove a point. I'm just being honest.
You are.
You're so emotional right now because what I said came out to be true.
Any logical person would know that you was on Twitter having this big parade about, oh my God, oh, you lost. And I was actually right for once because my numbers
for once,
were this and that.
Chris, I am one of the only analysts that you can probably talk to that I keep it real with my team.
Mm-hmm.
I keep it real with everybody else's team. I don't sugarcoat shit. I don't defend my team when they're garbage. I come out and speak. That's just me. If Texas loses tomorrow against Mississippi State, I'm not going to defend them against you when you come out and say something that is true because that will make me look dumb. I'm not going to do that. I'm just saying.
I know you for about 2.5 years now. I see you do it.
The facts that I have put forward happened. Like Ken tried to say, hey, man, those 3 plays didn't mean anything. It only cost us 13 points. You lost by 10. So it meant something. You lost by 10, and those plays cost you 13. Do the simple math, right? Those plays don't happen. You're up by 3. But anyways, one thing that OU has to get the running game fixed. That's one thing that I am not used to seeing OU not actually be able to run the ball. Beating Bo, man, he's one of the best coaches when it comes to this offensive line. We just got to see how that's going to get fixed for the team. It's going to be very interesting. I do like.
Can you highlight somebody's comment here?
Oh, yeah, which one?
KBATL was 5 minutes ago.
Oh shit! I'm over here. Just hold on. We got another super chat. One word sums up Oklahoma: desperate, no O-line, and no depth on the offensive side of the ball. No,
thanks, Nick V.
Now OU hopes a freshman can save the season. All right, so which one is it?
Thanks, Nick V. KBATL was 5 minutes ago.
5 minutes ago. Oh, I got it right here. KBA. Oh, you hopping off? Chris, he hopping off. Come on, Chris. KBATL. OU needs to shorten the games by running the ball, but they can't. They can't run the ball. That's the problem.
Yeah, but that has to be their goal or whatever they try to figure out because that's the best way they're going to be able to complement the defense. And that's on Brent Venables.
It is,
in my opinion.
But
because he's not structured his team he's built up this defense. He's acting like a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, he hasn't built up the depth. That's the difference on the offensive side of the ball. You know, like I hate to hear when people say, well, we lost our top 3 wide receivers. Well, you know what? Like, I don't want to compare OU to Texas, but if Texas loses their top 3 wide receivers, we're still going to be pretty damn good at wide receiver. It is what it is.
Matthew Miller's super chat.
You know, Matthew Miller.
It was 17 minutes ago.
I got one right here. So BV equals belt victim. We comment. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Oh, Lord.
Matthew Miller. We got a few super chats today.
Belt to ass, baby. It was 17 minutes ago, Matthew Miller.
Oh, here. Okay. Don't torture this man too much. His offense would do that enough to him. Did you guys see Bear Alexander opted out? I didn't. He opted out?
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised either. But all right, so one thing, you know, I hate that Chris got off because I think we're having a pretty good discussion here. It's just you can't get too emotional about your team. People don't want to say that Tennessee didn't let up the gas. They let off the gas, folks. Tennessee ran the ball 73% of the game. Man, I'm sorry. There are obvious passing downs. Tennessee ran the ball. I think Heupel totally understood that this defense is really good and their offense is not that good, and they're not going to be able to do anything against us. And I mean, we had the video proof where he's telling his quarterback straight up, sorry, I didn't let you go, get loose. They couldn't score on our defense, so I took it off. Basically, I took off the gas.
Jay just sent it. Jay said that yeah, Jay's information is Bear Alexander is planning to redshirt the remainder of the season and enter the transfer portal.
Oh wow. I wonder where he's gonna go. Oh, Jay sent it on our chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting, man. It is what it is with OU. They gotta win this game against Auburn. And it's not gonna be a shoe-in win
must-win
either.
game for both
teams. And it's not gonna be a shoe-in for either one of them. I would still get a slight edge to Oklahoma because their defense. And I do like Hawkins. I think Hawkins is going to be pretty legit for this game. It's just a matter of.
I just think that I've seen a lot of OU fans that I know are disappointed about the Jackson Arnold situation. That was your guy, right? Like this 2023 quarterback class out of high school was so special. It is proving to be special.
Jackson, Nico, Arch. Who else
Eli
in that
Holstein,
class?
Eli
Holstein,
at Pitt.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Holstein is balling. Yeah.
Avery Johnson at Kansas State was in that class.
Avery Johnson. Yeah, he's man. Yeah,
so
they got it.
It
was a great class. Right? It was a great class.
It was, and there's guys that are still going to come out. Dante Moore is over there sitting at Oregon now, getting experience.
Yeah,
right.
Because which is all that we were saying. Look, I've been saying this all year, even before season started. I told everybody in this channel, I think Jackson Arnold is going to be a very good quarterback, but out of that class, he's not Nico. Nico could come in and he could have played last year and been fine. Nico is showing his worth this year as a true sophomore. Jackson is not on that glide scope. He doesn't have the ceiling that Nico has or the natural quarterback talent that Nico has. Jackson is one of those guys that's he can run the ball, he can pass the ball, but he doesn't have the arm talent of Nico. Jackson needs one more season. He needs one more season to sit, learn, absorb an offense, get a little seasoning, and then come in his third year and kick ass. I think Jackson next year, after sitting for 2 years, is going to be a freaking monster if they allow it. But I think they threw him out there too damn soon, and now it puts a negative narrative on him, and he might not be at OU next year because of that. He might transfer because he got yanked from a game when he had his first bad juju in the game. They pulled him, and now he's not even the starter the next week, right? So what does that do to his mental?
This is what we'll find out long term for him, because short term is he needs to at least be ready to as a good backup quarterback, the same way Michael Hawkins Jr. was ready as a good backup quarterback. But long term, how he recovers from this, if it's hey, go show out another school, man.
Yeah,
your career is not over. But I just the point about OU fans, real quick, before we get to Quentin's super chat.
Yeah,
I get being disappointed. I get it. I get the excitement, but it's okay to admit, hey, guys, looking back at it, we learned a lesson here. We were wrong. But being wrong means you learning a lesson, right? Being wrong means, hey, you know what? The Dylan Gabriel thing, next time, let's be grateful for that veteran guy. Even though he may not be the sexiest quarterback, he doesn't have the biggest arm.
He was the perfect bridge for us.
He was the perfect bridge for us. And now, because that is what we're so thankful for as Texas fans. All these people want us to rush Arch out there. We're not going to do it.
We don't need to do it.
We're not going to do it. And we don't need to do it.
That's why Texas fans love a guy like Shane Buechele. You want to talk about a bridge guy who had to come in and start as a freshman, but he was the bridge that got us to Sam Ehlinger, right? And Shane left, right? And he had to go do his thing too, but he was the bridge. Yeah, and he had a really good career. That's why Texas fans are always endeared to Shane Buechele because of that. Because he was the guy that was 4-star guy, athletic guy, really good player, top 150 player in the country. But we had Sam Ehlinger come in too, and we knew Sam was better fit for Tom Herman's offense, and Shane was definitely that bridge that got us into the next generation of Texas football, which ultimately got us here to Sark. Was it 4 years later, right? So,
one other point I want to make before you address, because I want you to address the Quentin's the D lineman.
Yeah,
because we
they
were actually just talking about that
we're just talking
before.
about that on in the green
Yeah.
screen.
But the last thing I'll say is Brent Venables. This is a very, 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 very key point in his tenure as OU coach. If he's going to be around for a long time, or if it will be short lived in the SEC, is how you manage quarterbacks. I know you're a defensive coach. You cannot hide behind that anymore. Brent Venables needs to take control of the situation and either and say, look, Michael Hawkins, you're playing, but we're not going to make you try to. The plan. I know the plan is going to be for him to go run around and play hero ball, but is that the
That's
best
not
thing for the
sustainable.
young man?
It's
It's
not
not
sustainable.
sustainable, and don't get in the habit of just throwing people aside once they're not the best as they are as freshmen, because that's going to impact OU in recruiting. People are going to say, why should, if I'm a quarterback, the moment of my development, if as soon as something goes astray, are y'all just going to throw me under the bus? And that becomes a narrative in recruiting. So just, this is a very key point where Brent Venables needs to really take control of the situation.
Yep. All right, man. So we got another super chat here from Nick V. He says building an offensive line with duct tape will ruin a quarterback, and with how the SEC is built, SEC pass rushers will kill a quarterback's confidence. And that's kind of what me and Steven were talking about. You play those guys when they're ready, not because you have to. You play them when they're ready. All right. If you have to play a true freshman, then you've done something very wrong. Um, if this true freshman is not ready and you have to play him, you've done something wrong. Look, I'm a Texas guy. Steve is a Texas guy, right? We have had to play guys as true freshmen, had to depend on freshmen to be the saviors of our team, and that is not what you want for any Power Five college football team. It's not what you want, because bad things happen and it stunts the growth of these guys. And uh, you have an opportunity where you have guys that could, lead a team to go 10-2 at year 3 if they would have been developed, but they had to go in as a freshman and they're a constant 6-6 guy because they haven't been taught right and they've been rushed. So that's it, man. All right, what's the
Yeah,
next topic, man?
yeah. So two more things. If you want to address the decommits real
Yeah,
quick
let's address
as
the
well.
decommits. Kamari Moore, he just decommitted. Big guy, 6'1", 300-pound defensive lineman. Looks like the RPM calculator from On3 is saying that Nebraska. He is
Okay.
from Lee Summit, Missouri. So Midwest area. So it's saying that Nebraska. Matt Rule's doing this thing right now. They're looking really good up there. He's going to turn that program around. I mean, he is.
I mean, anytime you're taking a guy from Todd Bates and BB, I mean that area, especially Jaden Jackson's look good, and some of those OU D linemen. So that's a big one to still take away, which is all the more reason why winning football games is still important.
Yeah.
And you know, again, don't put everything on Michael Hawkins Jr. to be your savior. Come up with a game plan to let your defense win the game. What's the game plan to play complementary to them? The other thing I wanted to address, Nino, was Georgia going to Alabama. I
Alabama.
think
Oh,
we
yes.
should probably finish there
Yeah, let's finish with
in
that,
that game.
man.
That's a
That's gonna be
super
awesome.
super fight.
That's gonna be a dogfight, man. One thing that I don't think people are talking about right now with that game is the weather that's down there right now, with all the rain that's happening, with the hurricane that's about to hit here, in Florida. There's going to be a lot of rain down there in Tuscaloosa, man. And this is going to be a knockout dragon war, because I don't think they're going to be able to pass the ball a lot this game. So I think it's going to be whose offensive line is going to control whose defensive line and vice versa to be able to win this game. So it's going to be who's going to be able to run this ball better. I like Bama, because not only can Jan Miller run that ball very well, but so can Milrow, right? And so I think you got a 2 to 3 headed monster at Bama. That should control that line, and they're at home too, man. Bama's hard to beat at home, but Georgia's coming off a bye week, so is Bama. Georgia's coming off a look, man. I just got dropped from like number 1 to number 2, and Kirby with a chip on his shoulder is a different coach. He's a different coach.
Yeah, and they have one of the longest regular season win streaks. I think even longer. They've eclipsed USC,
Yeah.
even in their regular season
If
win
they beat
streak.
Alabama this week, don't they tie Oklahoma's win streak?
They're already there.
Oh, they're already there. So if they beat it,
Are they? No, I'm asking. I'm
I think
asking.
they
Are they?
are. I think it's the Alabama week or it's the Texas week. It's the Alabama or Texas week. One of those two. It's like the big game. You know what I'm saying? So if they continue to win on, either if it's this week or it's 3 weeks after this, it might be the Texas week. Let me check that.
Okay, you're looking up while
Yeah,
you're doing that. This game also to me, I'm looking at the quarterbacks: Carson Beck versus Jalen Milroe. A lot of NFL eyes are on this. The recent CBS mock draft that came out, Jalen Milroe was mocked
I
to
saw
the
to the
Miami
Dolphins. I saw to
Dolphins.
the Dolphins. Yeah,
Yeah, at 16.
that would be freaking sick.
And
That would be sick.
Carson Beck wasn't in the first round. This is one of the first ones I have seen where he fell out.
Yeah,
There was only three quarterbacks that were in that first round mock, which was Quinn, Shador, and Jalen Milroe. Um, which they also messed up because Cam Ward should have been on there.
yeah, yeah,
So I don't know what was going on. Other mocks have Cam Ward in the top 10, so other mocks have four guys. But this is a really big game for Carson Beck. His lone loss was Alabama in the SEC championship game, where he was cruising along his first year as a starter and then ran into that Bama defense that gave him a whole bunch of fits with the weapons that he had. I'm really, really curious to see what they do with how stagnant that offense has looked with Bobo,
mm-hmm.
and if their guys can get separation and just how he manages the game. I think NFL people are really, really going to keep their eyes on that, and I think NFL people are also going to look at Jalen Milroe and his pocket management against this Georgia front, and how he handles the rush. Because
It's gonna be
sometimes he
interesting
gets, yeah.
because
I mean,
let's be honest. Last year in the SEC championship game, he didn't look great in that game against their front. He didn't look great against Texas's front. Now, mind you, that was early in the season. But if the same thing happens at the beginning of the season and happened at the end of the season, that lets me know that you didn't grow in that area where you should have. I'm trying to remember the Michigan game and how he handled that from a passing perspective. I just can't remember off the top of my head, but uh, I had Milroe being my Heisman Trophy winner this year. I wasn't expecting Cam Ward to come out like he is right now. I think Milroe has this. He still has opportunity because he's kind of Bama's offense right now. I still don't think Milroe's comfortable in Kalen's offense. I don't. That's just my opinion. I don't think he's. I don't think.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I don't think he's comfortable in that offense, and I don't think that Milroe is the quarterback um
Is the ideal
that
fit
Kalen.
for.
Yeah. He's not the quarterback
Yeah,
that
you
Kalen
know
will go
what? You know
get.
who the quarterback is that's an ideal fit for his offense? It's Keelan Russell, the guy he has coming in.
Yes. Oh man.
The guy the big bomber that stands in the pocket and throws darts. Like that's what
Appreciate it, right, Grams.
that's what he's looking for, right?
Hey
And
man, so
so
Keelan Russell, let me tell you a story about him. So I got a fraternity brother of mine. He's one of the coaches at Duncanville right now. And I told him 6-7 months ago, I said, Keelan Russell's the guy I want Texas to go after. And he was like, nah, man. I'm a KJ Lacey fan. I said, I love KJ Lacey. I said, I think Keelan Russell's different, right? And he was like, yeah, I'm not sure yet. He didn't have the job at Duncanville yet, right? He goes and gets the job at Duncanville. And I text him. I said, how's Keelan Russell? He goes, damn, I was hoping that you wouldn't have texted me that. I said, why? He goes, he's special. And he said, and we're teaching him the RPO now, like how to really run the RPO. And he said, once he learns that, it's going to be unstoppable. And he was like, Godly, I can't believe I wasn't looking at him like this. Like, but a lot of people weren't looking at him like that.
no, I
They just
wasn't.
thought
I mean,
they just
I
thought he had
saw
a
him. Yeah, I mean, I saw him in person start. The guy was a starter for the
for
Duncanville
the
the
two-time
sophomore
state
year.
champion. Yeah.
Yeah, and he wasn't. Trust me, the sophomore year he was a bus driver. It
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah. He was a
It
game
wasn't.
manager. The junior
He
year, he kind of
was.
took over that team. It
Junior
was
year he
his
did.
team. And
Yes.
this year, it's really his team. Like, it's his
This year,
team.
yeah. Last game, I think he had like 6 touchdowns. Three of them to
He's freaking,
Corey, and
he's sick, man.
but he's also physically like everything. It's maturing, right? Like
yeah.
he's grown. He was always tall and lanky, and
And
for
his
those who don't
body's
know,
grown into, yeah.
he was running track before too. But like now that he's fully football, fully focused on the trainer. the trainer that he's working with as well. I believe is the same guy that works with Patrick Mahomes up in
Yeah,
the DFW area. So
dude.
what is this? Hang those picks up live on stream. We got
You got a
what
whole
the
Jake.
pictures in the back or the
they crushing you for your pictures not being hung up.
bro. I'm so lazy.
I'm about to redo mine. So Rock Drum said he likes, like my battle sign
I'm
here, but
getting cooked.
I'm about to redo my stuff too, man. But yeah, man. Bama
Be
versus
like at
Georgia.
work and have the blurred background.
I know, right? Dude, this is gonna be a good game, man. A pissed off Kirby, somebody's hard to beat. You know what I'm saying? He's a hard person to beat. But going into Alabama, this is the thing. This is Kalen's first big game in Bama. This is his first big game at Bama.
Game day, everything's gonna be down there.
And look, I think he's gonna be fine. He's gonna handle the pressure fine. That's not the problem.
That's not. Yeah.
Oh, Nick V goes, I trust Sark with Lacey, but man, Russell is him. Oh, yeah, he is. Yeah, man, he's him. He's him.
JB. Yeah. Oh, Nick V, thank you for the super chat. Josh Hornsby, we will eventually get these pictures up. Don't you worry. Also, the comment about Russell versus Underwood, if we can highlight that one.
Yeah, I got it up.
So Bryce Underwood out of Michigan is out of the Dante Moore camp as well. Versus this battle, this quarterback rivalry is going to feed families.
Sure is.
This rivalry, Bryce Underwood, who is going to LSU, and Keelan, who's going to Bama. So they're gonna go head up against each other.
Every year.
Point.
Yeah,
and they are both big, dynamic, awesome passers. Keelan Russell, won Elite 11 and shocked a lot of people, but he did his damn thing. And Bryce didn't participate because he didn't. He's been number one almost.
He's the number one guy in the country. Yeah.
Yep. And he's been number one for years. So no, this is a really another fun quarterback class, just like Nico, Arch, Jackson Arnold, all those guys, right? That's how we feel about the KJ Lacey as well, right? The 2025 quarterback class.
Hey man, so Keelan is what, 6'3", 6'4", what, about 200 pounds now?
He's 6'4". I'd give him 6'4".
Yeah, so 6'4", what, about 200 right now? 215? Well, I wouldn't say 215. 200?
Somewhere between 200 and 210.
Yeah.
I'd say.
I know Bryce is Underwood's he's about the same, 6'3", like 210, somewhere around there. He's
got more weight.
Yeah, he's a thicker kid, I think. But hey, man, it's going to be interesting, man. That's going to be an interesting rivalry here for the next 4 years, just depending on how long these guys stay in college, man. But yeah, man, I like this Georgia Bama game. It's going to be very good, man. That's the late game too, right?
Yes.
So we got Texas at 3:00, Central Standard Time, 6:00 for the Bama Georgia game, and then we got a really good game at 12:00 too. So, man, college football's back, man. College football's back.
Yeah, man. We all day. I mean, Arkansas A&M, Georgia, Bama. Texas is making their SEC debut with a 38-point spread. We're coming in here with probably the second largest point spread in SEC history, which is hilarious.
Yeah, like opening point spread.
But for those who don't know, I just did a stream on Bleacher Report right before I got on here, and I shared the numbers on Mississippi State. They are one of the worst teams.
Yeah, they're bad.
They're really, really bad. They actually have not picked off a pass. They have not stopped a fourth down this year. They are 100. They're in the hundreds in every significant defensive category.
Yeah, they're not good at all, y'all. At all.
And they just lost their quarterback. So, we gotta take these reps and be as competitive with them as possible and keep the same energy we've had all the way through. Because after this is a bye week, and then we get to playing some really good defenses.
Exactly. Well, sweet. Well, look, man, it's been real. We've been on for about an hour and 15 minutes. Quentin with the last $2 holla.
Man, hold on.
What's that?
UNLV. We got to talk about UNLV
Okay,
real
okay,
quick.
okay. Yeah. We
Thank
talked
you,
about this
Quentin.
behind the scenes. Yeah.
Thank you, Quentin.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it, Quentin. We talked about this behind the scenes on our group chat with me, you, and Homer and everybody.
Yeah, me, you, Homer. Yeah, Nash,
Nash and
everybody.
everybody. Dude, I don't know how to feel about this. I got to hear all the facts because I'm hearing the agent come out and say they offered the kid 100K and they only gave him 3K. And then the kid said, well, okay, we can do 10,000 a month for 5 months, scrap the 100K. And the school said, not the school, but the NIL collector said no. Right. And so he said, all right, I'm gone. Right. Now we're hearing the school come out and say that the agent is pushing for pay for play and we don't play with those rules. So it's who do you believe? Right. Which essentially NIL, I don't want to say is pay for play. Look at my son. Hold on. My son was done with my homework like 30 minutes ago. All right, son.
Good job, little Nino. Way to stay on top of the academics, man. That's important.
And he has time to tune in to watch his dad. All right. So he's upstairs, probably doing whatever a 9-year-old does right now. But man, I don't know, man. That's gonna be interesting, dude.
Man, somebody said who offered the 100K. Tell me it wasn't Brendan Marion. brothers and sisters, when I tell you I fell to my knees in my local bodega this morning, just thinking about Brendan Marion losing another quarterback to NIL and then losing his running back.
Yeah,
I was like,
his team had probably one of the best shots to make it into the playoffs as a group of 5 team.
Spot. Mm-hmm.
I mean, they beat two Big 12 teams already.
Mm-hmm.
The only G5 team I think that has beaten 2 Power 5 conference, 2 Power 4 conference teams now. So, hey man, they're on a roll. And that go-go offense is doing it. So,
and yeah, I mean, look, the numbers he's put up in the go-go the last 2 years, especially on the ground, is remarkable. And I'm really happy for him. I'm pretty sure Brennan comes from. He's been in the college game for a while. I'm pretty sure it wasn't him that was the assistant. It sounds like it was like somebody that would, thought they may have somebody that's clearly not a bagman. Clearly not, right? That was out here just saying
trying to be a bag man.
But like Stephen Houston, you could highlight his comment because that's where I am. There's no paper trail.
Yeah. Which is what I told Nash today. Which is what I told Nash. I said, with these NIL deals, you need to have this with your collective on paper that shows exactly what is given and what is, that shows exactly what's supposed to. Because if this is under, like under the table stuff, then that's done completely wrong. You know what I'm saying?
And young folks out there, verbal agreements. I mean, that's a very shaky business. You got to have something in writing, under contract, signatures.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to money and payment owed for whatever, because the way NIL works, like if he's getting paid, if there's an agreement with the collective, right, then he would be having to do certain things. He's not just going to get money for nothing.
Yeah.
Like he would have to make appearances or sign some autographs or do some commercial, something, right? He'd have to do something for those dollars.
Yeah.
What was the agreement? Because if they can't produce an agreement or say, then to me this whole thing stinks.
Yeah,
right?
It's he say she say right now. But the only killer point is that they lost another guy because of the same thing. So it's like, what is UNLV doing over there? Because he lost 2 guys in the span of 24 hours for NIL non-compliance. What's that?
No, JB said Coach Marion.
Stop it, JB.
Knock it off.
Hey man. That's crazy.
I yeah, if you sign, if there's no contract and it's just all verbal stuff and it's, well, you told me to come here and they gave him the 3K to move, which is also sketch, right?
Yeah.
Like, again, now it's we just heard another running back on the team also decided to
bounce.
To bounce. So something stinks over there. It sounds like too, like who's running the collective, man? Because sometimes these mob guys and Vegas get involved. You know, was one of the Corleones involved? Where they had like somebody's kid running the collective, and
Yeah,
they
something
they
happened.
they misused the funds. Because I mean, 100K in the grand scheme of things, this
It's
would
nothing.
never happen. Like somebody said this today, and I laughed. They were like, "This would never happen at a SEC school."
Yeah,
Because they're like,
100K.
"You need 100 bands, and that's it." Like, you should have said something earlier, son.
That's it. Yeah, man, that's like budget dust. That's budget dust for
Right.
some of these NIL
It's a
collectives.
rounding error, sir. Like, you should have said something. Bro, your mama needs something. Like,
Yeah, you get some of that Eric Dickerson treatment. You want a Trans Am too?
especially they 3-0,
Yeah,
right? Like they're 3-0.
yeah. You talking about?
You're in the top 20, you're 23 now or whatever in the AP poll.
Yeah,
Like,
you want to talk about like $100 handshakes?
this is not the time.
That's
Yeah,
nothing. Yeah,
very unserious program there at UNLV. Very unserious.
yeah, very unserious, man. All right, brother, man. It's an hour and a half. My kid just said he's tired, so let me go put this little man to sleep. I got to grade his homework too. Let me stop tripping. Life of being a dad. All right, man. Well, hey, man, appreciate everybody for tuning in. We out. Join us next Wednesday here at the SC Connect. And also me, Steven, Jay, and Ty, Bleacher Report every Friday. We're going to be doing that. So we got the Pick'em show here on Friday. And then Saturday after the game, I'm doing a live stream after the game, Texas, Mississippi State for the official Texas post-game live show. And then Steven does his show every Wednesday, the Texas show. So, and that's on Bleacher Report too. So just see us all over the place, man. Jay's on Locked On Sooners, and man, we're everywhere. Tune in. But we out,
Hey,
man.
Chris left here to go do another podcast.
Yeah,
right
man,
now.
we're all busy. So
we're all over the place.
All right, man. But hey, we appreciate you guys. We out. Deuces.
All right, fellas.